안녕하세요, Cloud입니다. Hey guys, Cloud here. Just as the title suggests, today I'm going to be going into a deep look into Talk to Me in Korean and tell you why or why not you shouldn't be using it. So, let's get right into it. So here we have Talk to Me in Korean, their website. It didn't always used to be like this, but they made it much more, they revamped it basically. So there's a few testimonials. They have a curriculum that they have, some quizzes to find out where you should be placed. And here you can check the pricing. They have like a premium membership that you can do, and they have books that they sell. So let's go right into the bookstore. So we're just going to look at Talk to Me in Korean and see what they're about. What exactly do they offer? And then we can go from there. So they have a wide variety of books. So you can see here, short novels with English translations. Here's a Hangul Master Course. You have like a few bundles of workbooks. You have things for intermediate people, vocab books, conversation books, reading for beginners, speaking packages, reading packages. This is for intermediate. These are the grammar books, mistakes that learners make, verb guide, 1100 short and useful Korean phrases, Hanja guide, news in Korean, which is really cool if you ask me, Q&A sentence patterns, idiomatic expression, survival, a daily routine. Can you see a theme here? Not really, right? They have a wide variety of books. There are themes like the workbook and the grammar's books. You can see a theme there, but they have a lot of books, and it covers a large range, even a book using BTS. I don't know who this person is, but as you can see, they have a lot of books covering a lot of topics, and remember that, because we're going to get back to that. Now, let's go. I mean, I could keep scrolling for forever. They really do have a lot of books. Let's go to their courses. Here they have their free course. So when they first started, they made like a podcast that was about, I think, 9 levels. Each one was about 25 lessons, if I'm not mistaken. And you could just listen to them, and they would usually have like a PDF version as well. These are their premium courses. Iyagi, this I think used to be free as well, but now it's a premium course. Pronunciation guide. This is a podcast. These guys are video. So all of these guys are video. 20 essential phrases. Living guide to learning in Korea. Must know words. How to learn Korean. So study hacks. I thought that used to be free too. But regardless, so half in Korean and half in English. I'm not sure what that is. News in Korean, so it can be complementary to their books. Story time, natural Korean conversation, common mistakes, sentence building, iyagi. They also have a large variety between video and audio courses here that you can sign up for. And if you're a member, you can get all of these things, if I'm correct. We can look at the pricing in just a second, but I'm just showing you the wide variety of different things that they have on their website. So let's go to their pricing. So there's a premium monthly, which is about $13 a month, or you can just pay $93, which is once a year, and you can get access to everything you want, or you can just stay free and do their free courses, their basic courses. So is Talk to Me in Korean really worth $13 a month for all the courses? And then is each one of their books really worth all of, this is like $47 for 2 or 3 books. This is, 2 books, it seems, for $44. You get the point. Why is Talk to Me in Korean so big? Is it that it's actually really good? Or is it something else? Is it their social media? They have a really strong social media. They constantly answer people's questions. If you check their Instagram, I don't really use Instagram that often, but whenever I check, they have a story with like 15 or 20, stories where they're showing people and interacting with their community. And that's part of it. Part of it is that people feel welcomed by Talk to Me in Korean, and they feel like they're being heard. And Talk to Me in Korean does a very good job reaching out to the community and making them feel as a part of the community. I think they have a Discord. I'm not sure. I'm not part of it, so I don't know if they have a Discord or not. But if you look at their Twitter accounts, their Instagram, you can see how active they are and how much they interact. That's part of it. Now, what sets them apart from people like Learn Korean with GoBilly? He also has a Discord channel. He also does a lot of these things. He has books, not as many. He has, I think, 3 grammar books and then 3 workbooks and then a storybook, if I recall. He also live streams every single week. For the most part, you can see he has like about 89 so far. And he just has a poll and people vote on what lesson they want to learn, and then he prepares an entire lesson, and then he spends like 1 or 2 hours just teaching it. He also has weekly videos that he does. Between the FAQ, he also has his beginner course that I'm assuming should be somewhere here, which is 100 videos that are just for beginners, from basically no Korean all the way to 100 courses, and is completely for free. Or, for example, How to Study Korean. They have 7 units. First one being Unit 0, so 8 units, including Unit 0, with Unit 0 just being learning how to read Hangul, and then 7 units of just grammar. And these lessons are really extensive. Like, some of them are like 30 pages long, and everything's just free. So anything you want, I mean, just look at how long this thing is, right? I'm still scrolling. And this is just like lesson 1, right there. I make summaries for these videos, and trust me, they're long, and it takes a while just to summarize everything. So now that we know what Talk to Me in Korean is and what other things are, what separates Talk to Me in Korean from others, and what do I think? Are they worth it, or are they not? All right. Talk to Me in Korean is definitely worth what they say. As a matter of fact, I may disagree with some of the things that they do, but I think the thing that sets them apart from GoBilly Korean and How to Study Korean is their diversity. They are so diverse in their books. And that's why whenever you see things on their Instagram, you see people are always talking about different books that they've bought and that they're really enjoying. And why is it that people enjoy Talk to Me in Korean's books? Because it's a breath of fresh air. That's funny. It's a breath of fresh air. Think about it. If you had to eat the same meal every single day for the rest of your life, or for 2 years until you learn the language, right? Whatever, the analogy falls apart. You have to eat the same meal every single day, the same food. You'd get bored of it after a while. You wouldn't want to eat it. You just wouldn't feel like it. And that's what happens with language learners. You have a grammar book that's like a couple 100 pages long, and you're going through it once a week or however many times. Every single time you're going through that grammar book, you get bored of it. You want something else. You want to learn about news in Korean. You want some travel phrases. You want something that's very themed and has context behind it and is just a complete package on its own. And that's what makes Talk to Me in Korean so appealing. It's the fact that they appeal to all these different things. They recognize that it's great having their own grammar and curriculum, but that's not everything. People aren't just going to go through all 5 of them one after the other. Well, some people might, but you want to learn other things as well. You want to change it up. You don't want to be eating the same meal over and over and over again. And that's what they do really well. Even with their courses, like we went to before, they have courses that aren't necessarily teaching you what to do. They're actually teaching you what not to do, common mistakes that people do. And I guess they probably teach alternatives. They have listening practice, so it's not just the book. They have useful verbs. They have news in Korean. They have just natural conversations, story times, the common mistakes, like we said here. Even writing videos. So they have a wide variety of things. And that's part of their appeal. Now, the other thing that was an issue with Talk to Me in Korean up until recently was the fact that you could get a lot of grammar, but you couldn't get a lot of structure from them. So they would usually give you a few sentences in their lessons, but their lessons felt a little bit lacking. It felt like it lacked natural conversation. It lacked just application, if you will. And so what did they do? About 7 or 8 months ago, they started Talk to Me in 100% Korean. And that's literally what they did. They just talked in 100% Korean, understanding that the people that are listening to them are not going to be fluent Koreans. So they, made it so that they're quite understandable and with a lot of body language and whatnot. So yeah, about 7 months ago. Unfortunately, they haven't been doing much since the past couple of months, but there's still about I think, what's this? Probably 40-ish videos. I think it should say somewhere. It doesn't say. But regardless, they have a good number of videos that you can watch, and they're fairly long. They're an hour long. So they give you input that you need. They also give you the books and wide variety of range of different topics that keep you interested, keep you coming back for more. If you were to go through grammar book after grammar book after grammar book, you wouldn't see them having probably over 100, if not 200 books in their bookstore. But it's because they have this wide variety of things that you can finish their grammar books, and then you can say, hey, I actually want to focus on vocab a little bit. I'm going to go to the 500 Korean words. And then you might be like, well, I can read now really well. I know my grammar. I can read really well. I can probably write well too, but I can't speak at all. So then they have these speaking packages for you. You might be like, I'm done speaking, writing, listening. This is just boring. Here's some hanja for you. Why not? Here are some short stories. Here are some travel phrases. Want to come to Korea? Maybe not. Here's some idioms that you probably didn't know. Here's the news in Korean. Who would have thought? Daily routines, things about daily life. They just have this, they fill the gap that you kind of want. There's no YouTube channel that you can go to and you can look up, 1100 short and useful Korean phrases. Or you might find a short video of Korean phrases for travelers, but you won't find a full-on book level worth of material on any person's YouTube channel or something like that. So they're definitely filling the gap, filling the void that's left by Korean language teachers on YouTube, and even some books. You might find a lot of these books separate on Amazon or from someone else's website, but to have them all in one place and then to also have the social media behind them, the awareness to reach out to people and to communicate with their fan base, that's something that you don't really see. So that's what sets them apart, and that's why they're worth it. That's why if you're paying whatever it is, $93 a year pricing, or I think it's $13 a month for access to them, you're probably doing well, because they really do fill in a void that not many, at least I haven't seen anything that really comes close to it. So overall, I'd say you'd be really well off studying with Talk to Me in Korean. Now, is it going to teach you complete Korean without any outside effort from your part? Probably not. You're always going to have to talk with people or write or do things on your own for you to finally reach a level of advancement in the language. But they're a very great resource for you to use.